The one really nice thing about Open Court is that it does fit into the building blocks. Building blocks and other research shows us that phonemic awareness and being able to identify sounds in words, identify rhymes, and all of those pieces of phonemic awareness really are one of the greatest contributors towards moving children into pre-reading and reading. And so this series really, number one, fits in to our building blocks framework, and number two, really is structured exactly to help move those children exactly where they need to go with phonemic awareness. It always starts out with some sort of a listening activity. So today we played the telephone game of whispering a word around just to practice listening, to make sure that the kids understand that one of their jobs as a learner is that you have to use your ears and listen. And it's very challenging at the beginning of the year to play the telephone game. We're not worrying about sounds yet, we're just worrying about a whole word. Just the word spaghetti around the circle, or just an entire name.
Hot tub.
Say it again, Reese.
Hot tub.
Hot tub?
No.
Is that a food?
Hot dog. No.
What was it?
Hot dog.
Hot dogs. You got it half right, so we'll give them a half silent cheer.
Listening is a critical component of phonemic awareness. And so if we can get the kids used to listening early on and do it in ways that are like games and kind of fun, then hopefully as it becomes a more academic situation that we put them in, they're able to focus on the listening skill.
Kind of like a little room.
Well, it's a silly rhyme, but does it rhyme?
It looked like a plane.
Does fish rhyme with dish?
Yeah.
Sure does. A
It's a
fish
plane.
could swim in a dish.
It's a
Rhyming is another part that usually happens early in the lesson, and we've been playing games. They have picture cards. So yesterday we held up a picture of a goose and a picture of juice. And the children were to come up with a sentence. The goose is drinking juice. Or one of them, the goose is swimming in some juice. And they just come up with funny, almost Dr. Seuss-like sentences about these picture cards. And again, right now it's just picture. We're not looking, at words. We're looking at pictures and just listening to the language of the rhyming.
That wears a lock?
no. It's
A bat that wears a
hat.
hat?
Yeah.
Does that rhyme?
Yeah.
Sure does. Everybody say bat
Bat.
and say hat.
Bat.
Good job.
The next thing that we're working on right now is letter names, and that will move into letter sounds. And right now we're focusing on uppercase and lowercase and the language. We use uppercase and lowercase. We also use capital and small.
B.
What letter is that?
B.
Brian Bermudez, what letter is that?
B.
Capital B. Your name starts with the B. You knew that. Good.
Today was the first day that we used a book with the word A. So today was a big distinction about using the letter A and the word A. So again, we're starting basic, introducing one letter a day, but building in all those concepts using the key vocabulary of letter, word.
This is so exciting because today you're going to learn a word.
A word.
A word. A word. You're going to learn a word.
Oh, you're not green. You're just so terrible. You're just so terrible. A.
You already knew it, didn't you? It's the letter A, but it can also be a word.
And so the children now have seen the word A on a card, and we've practiced with a card and maybe holding a cup, or maybe holding a card and holding a plate and reading a plate in isolation, practicing using those sentences, and then in actual print in their little take-home book that they read in their small group and they can take home and keep in a safe place at home and read with their parents over and over again.
And where do all of these kinds of animals live, Miss Shayla?
In the barn.
In the barn, on the, Riley, on the farm. Turn to pages 6 and 7.
The first two take-home books are just pictures. There is no text except what is in the picture. It doesn't even have pictures at the bottom for the children to attempt to read. And then we moved into, today's book was A, and then a picture of the word farm. And the pages in that were a horse, a cow, a pig.
Turn to the last page. What are the friends, Kate, doing on this page?
They're showing, they're wondering if they're sticking.
in addition to teaching the letters in isolation where we're holding up the card and practicing and we all trace the letter in the air, there's a rhyming book for each letter. After we've introduced the letter, then we read this little poem and the children come and identify a capital letter F and a lowercase letter f in an actual text, so that that knowledge carries over from what you learned in isolation to what you've learned in the text.
Kyla, what letters?
B.
What kind of B?
Ooh, that's my B.
Capital B. And Lillian, what's this one?
Lowercase.
Lowercase b. Okay, find a lowercase b for us, Colin. Remember our buzzing bees? Very good. Good job. Can you give that to Todd?
We're doing this in small groups. I think our largest group size might be about 15. And research does show that working in smaller groups is the best way to promote and accelerate phonemic awareness learning in children. The way that we grouped our students this year, we used the DRA word analysis, which is an assessment given by the district. So it's common, again, between all the teachers. And what we really looked at for this early stage of our groups, while we're basically introducing the alphabet letter names. So we looked at those tasks, I believe it's 5 and 6 on the word analysis. And you know, if they knew all 26, 24, 25, 26 alphabet letters, we moved them to the advanced group. Also, you know, taking into account other things about that child. You know, there is the rhyming portion, obviously, too, which we kind of found was a little bit difficult for all the students at this stage in the year, so we didn't want to hold them back due to the rhyming. So again, if they knew the majority of uppercase and lowercase letters, they went to the advanced group. And that group is working on like even writing out words that begin with the letter B. The students that we chose for the lower group were again students who had very low scores on the word analysis. We had some students who were not able to complete the task just about the letters in their name. And that's, I believe, task 4. And so that was a big aha for the teachers that, you know, these children are not even familiar with their names, so they're going to need some extra support. And so those children were chosen to be in the approaching level group. And then for our ESL group, our population at Fox Hill, we have a pretty high percentage. I would say at least 25 to 50% of our classes are English language learners. And so we couldn't put all of those students together. So each teacher picked what they believed were the lowest 3 ESL students in their class. And that was just kind of based on teacher observation for how the students were following rules and routines in the classroom, you know, how they were picking up the language even this early in the school year. And that's probably our most flexible group so far, that we've decided, you know what, this child I thought was going to be able to stay with me in my group, but they're really, it's over their head.
Okay, ponlo en la estrella. Put it on the star. Okay, ready? Vamos a empezar de cantar. Ready? We're going to start singing. A, B, C. Everybody should be on the C. See if your finger's on the C.
What I really like, I think what I like best about it is the way that we're doing it at Fox Hill right now, where we're doing different small groups because we're finally able to meet the children right where they are. This is the first time in kindergarten for me that we've been able to pull out, you know, all the lower or the approaching level, as they call it in this series, and all the above level are at their level in a group with, you know, other learners at their level. So we really are able to focus on, you know what, so-and-so in my group today did not pick up the difference between E and F, and I've only got 12 kids. So I can really focus on this student getting the difference between E and F, and it's the same lesson every day.